Welcome back to the Keg King channel. I'm Daniel. Last week we fermented an extract kit beer in a pressure fermenter, the Fermenter King Junior. Now we used a spunding device to hold 10 psi in that fermentation. We used a Series 4 fridge as a temperature controlled chamber. We used an ultra warmer to keep the nice warm temperature of 18 degrees and rise up to 23 degrees during the first 5 days of fermentation. And then 2 days at 23 degrees before we cold crashed that beer and got it carbonated. So the beer was actually ready to drink in 7 days. It was really actually quite a nice beer at 7 days. It's only gotten better since then. So I'm going to show you how to pull a sample with a Quickie. So with this Quickie, I've actually put a piece of tubing onto it, and I'm just going to put it onto the post over here. You're just going to go ahead and push down and pull a small sample. You only need about 100 mils to be able to get a good sample read. Just from this sample, it's really actually quite foamy already. So I'm just gonna move the beverage back and forth a little bit to kind of break out the CO2 that's in it. It just helps get a better read when you put it into a flask for the hydrometer. So if you just want to get the gravity read, a Quickie and a $7 glass hydrometer is the way to go. So now that you've knocked the CO2 out of it, fill your flask and then go ahead and drop your hydrometer into the flask and go ahead and take a reading. Now, if the reading is stable over 2 days, you'll be able to go ahead and bottle or keg or cold crash, whatever your next step is. At this point, this beer is like 1.010 or just a little bit under that. So it is ready. If it had gone a little lower, that would be great. But since there was some unfermentables in this beverage, including maltodextrins, I can expect that there will be a little bit of a higher gravity to finish. It definitely shouldn't be as high as say like 1.020. It should definitely be below that. So to be safe, just make sure you go as low as possible and get a stable reading over 2 different days when you do your hydrometer readings. So in this case, we're done. We'll move on with our process. So let's hook this beer up, get it cold, and we'll pour ourselves a beer, because while we're getting it cold, we're gonna hook up some gas and we're gonna get it carbonated and we're gonna drink the beer. Yeah. It's already sitting at 10 psi. So we've put it in, it's already nice and cold. We're just hooking it up now. We're gonna get it set onto a tap system. That's all you have to do. Actually, fairly pretty looking. Nice. So, oh, it's actually got kind of a nice fruity bouquet to it. It's definitely nice creamy white head, and yeah, good carbonation. You can kind of see it's nice and effervescent in the glass there. It's not really glass, it's actually plastic. But let's go ahead and give that a taste. That is actually pleasant. So it's only a week old. It's probably only going to get better and probably a little bit clearer as it sits in the cold, working its way to being an empty keg. A lot of people have asked questions now about the sediment at the base of the keg and whether or not that changes the flavor. If you're worried about it, you can always anaerobically transfer. So transferring without oxygen into a keg, or you can bottle off of these as well. There's all sorts of methods to be able to do that. But you don't have to worry about the yeast bothering the beer. So over the next, say, month, it's fine to sit there, probably even longer. I've actually drunk out of kegs that have had the sediment at the base of them for probably up to about 7-8 weeks, and there's been no issue. And so 16 liters of beer around this place with all the guys that work here, it's not gonna last long anyway, especially since some of these guys are probably gonna take some of this home tonight. But if you wanna get to a point where you can actually make extract kits and be drinking them and they taste good in like a week, even faster if you choose to use Norwegian Quickie yeast, well, this is the way to do it. It's about ingredient selection and it's about control over your equipment. So cheers, brewers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.